Let's build a pan. Step one is completed, and that is the thin set that bonds to plywood sheathing. That is the first bond. That's just so that we can bond our mortar, which is this mortar mix, and it's used for brick, pillars, right there, everything that it's used for. That makes a perfect bed, 3-inch bed in your shower pan using this shower pan liner. Waterproof membrane for tile shower base installations. Right there, boom, with the drain assembly. That is that drain assembly. It has a male and female. Once this piece gets siliconed with clear silicone on that connection there, all the way around, that gets locked into place, screwed down, now becomes one with the subfloor. This here, there's a female ring and a male ring. The liner gets glued to this part of the bottom of the liner. The top gets no glue because there's weep holes right here. So now, once this gets locked into place, tighten down, that male and female lock together, now the water has no choice but to go down this drain. Or these weeps, that's what the pre-slope is for. So right now I went up 1/4 inch to nothing, to the subfloor sheathing, to the front of that drain right there assembly. That's the first bond. Now my mud is going to bond to it. The next mud layer is going to approximately go up to that plate, the top of that bottom plate right there, come over and die. Everything is going to be pitched right now on this pre-slope mud pitch. So this kind of thin set tile mortar, if you look at the checks over there, this is everything that it'll do. This is the good stuff. This will do granite, ceramic, porcelain, marble, stones, quarry, plywood. That's what you do your first bond with. Not this kind. Not this one. You see? It will not bond to plywood. You have to bond that first one. Even underneath hardy board, you cannot use this. You have to. This one. This one, wall board, plywood, cement board. So you're going to take your hardy, notch into your subfloor, lay that in a bed that it adheres to plywood. That's your bond to the floor. If I use that other thin set, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this admix in right here. Improves water resistant custom multi-set matte mortars right here. You add this glue. I call this glue. It's an admix. It improves strength, durability, resistance to water. You add that to the ratio of the mix you're making. How much? I'm taking another mix that's going to go into the mortar up there, but the admix right now is going to go in here, and that's going to be my bond, my mortar bed bond pre-slope to that drain right now. So right now, let's add to my mortar bed that admix. It's going to strengthen the durability and gives it more flexibility, making one strong bed in any kind of wet location. Right there, those two. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna use that bottom plate right there as a guide. So as long as I go half of that, but I'm gonna go almost all of it. I'm gonna start this pre-slope really good to this pan, or to this drain in all directions to build this pan. I start in those corners and I work my way this way using my levels. And you just start shaping it just like that with a concrete float. And then I'm going to use a finish trowel to smooth finish it. And you just start beating it in. You want a kind of a dry mix that you can clump up with your hands, and then you beat it on and float it on with a trowel. I'll show you. So then I make sure Always my drains level, but I'm using torpedoes, and I'm gonna screed with that level right there. And you want that, I don't know if you can see the bubble, let's see. There it is, right there. So right there, I'm following, there's a 1/2 inch right there. So I got a 1/2 inch of fall from that span, from there to there. I need a 1/4 inch per foot. I'm over that. This will be a nice pre-sloped to that drain. And you don't want to build up right here because you don't want this concrete rubbing against. So I'm going to finish this down to the level of that bottom drain right there. And then felt is going to go on it for expansion and contraction, for building movement, for that pan to be able to rub and move with the building through winter and summer expansion and contraction. So right now I'm using Lowe's products. I'm going to go in between Home Depot and Lowe's. Come on, Home Depot, Lowe's, sponsor me. Send me your products. I will use your products in every single one of my builds. Right now, this is from Lowe's. From the liner to the heavy door that I'm hanging here and creating a door there. I took down a door here, patched in the ceiling, corner bead, and made a pass through. So I'll be using a waterproof membrane on my Hardy board installation, and that'll be Red Guard from Home Depot, which is that product right there. That's how you fix cracks, big huge cracks. You cut your cracks out with a grinder, patch it in with an epoxy, and then waterproof membrane it to give it flexibility. So there's my second phase. All corners, all sides. That whole pan leads to that drain. This phase does not go any higher than this because we got to put felt on here and the liner. We don't want anything to rub. There it is. So let's kick it off with a slow dryer. You don't want to dry it too fast with heaters because it'll crack everywhere. So we're just gonna push some cool air on it or on the ceiling and let it bounce off the ceiling and start drying the floor. So I'm gonna let that dry. Now I'm gonna start embedding with a 1/2 inch notch trowel, big heavy trowel. And then I don't screw it off. I step on it, let it smash, let it embed, and then let it tack up and dry up, then screw it off. Because then you're not smashing it all the way down to your subfloor. You're leaving a nice thick bed under there to embed the Hardy board or Wonder board to the subfloor. I'm gonna cut this video out, get her done, handyman, and start the next one showing how to embed the floor to the subfloor. All right, get her done.